Hello, I'm Laura Novak, and I am here to help you with your wedding photography questions. So, if you've been shooting weddings for a while, or even if you're first starting out, you may have found that a lot of people want an extensive selection of beautiful portraits from their wedding day, but simply don't have the time to capture them. Maybe they have a one location wedding and they don't want to miss their cocktail hour, but they're opposed to seeing each other beforehand to get the pictures done. Maybe they're having a destination wedding, just like the couple I'm about to show you, and they don't want to leave their friends and family who have traveled a very long distance to attend the wedding while they go away to take some photos together. So, whatever the reason, I find that it can be resolved with a day after session. I love these sessions because I find the bride isn't as concerned with her dress and whether or not it gets dirty. And the best part, we have unlimited time. No checking your watch, stressing about what time the reception is beginning, or a wedding planner saying, hey, can you be done pretty soon because we need to wrap things up. So, how and what do you shoot for a day after session? I find that sometimes going to the wedding location is great because it gives them a sense of the actual wedding day, or like this couple did in Jamaica, visiting a nearby golf course with some really cool looking ruins. So you can see that I met the couple right here in the first images at the golf course. And I found this great looking tunnel with some light. This was actually a very simple entrance into a very simple courtyard, but with using dramatic lighting, it looks a lot different than it did in person. And so I found a chair and some tables, and I had them sit together, get relaxed before their day after session began. And the most wonderful thing about a day after session is that the bride and groom are just so in love with each other because they just got married. They're on this wedding high, and then you're able to capture it the very next day when they wake up together and realize that they are husband and wife. And so we just did a series of images right here in the tunnel. I took a couple shots over by the front of the golf course, and then we went outside to where these cool ruins are. And you can see I offered a variety of backlighting the images and frontlighting the images so that they had just a large variety of options when they would sit down and do their wedding album. I find that the more variety, the more options, typically the bigger the wedding album is. And so you can see here that I'm really showing off the background and a little bit of a hint of them. And so in the next series, we actually went into the ruins and the inside of the ruins, so you can see this amazing texture. I centered them in that tunnel behind them, and the light coming into the structure was just unbelievable. And I love the juxtaposition of just the beautiful dress and then the texture of the ruins. So we took a lot of shots in here, and I just loved their interaction. And then I wanted to get them close up, so I leaned them against a wall and have them interact with each other. We did a couple of non-smiling shots, but this couple's so smiley and gorgeous, I loved them smiling. Then we went back up into a different area of the ruins, and I'm taking this variety of images probably within 10 feet of each other. I mean, we're not moving around very much, and the entire day after session's about 45 minutes. But I loved the light at the end of this tunnel within these ruins, and I just thought it made for a great variety of images. And then here we went back outside, and it was still so bright out, even though it was towards the end of the day, where it was sunny, I really couldn't have them look at me, but it was nice for them to be able to look at each other, and then you can see the background, like the water and the landscape of the golf course, and again, a hint of these ruins. Then we went on the other side of the ruins where there was a continuous line of these tunnels, which I thought was really neat and interesting. And again, these shots probably aren't as strong when they're looking at the camera because of the shadows, but looking at each other worked out really, really well with the blue pop of water in the background. So then we went into an area where there was an overhang, and I did a variety of close-up images. And so even when you're tempted with such a beautiful background, I think it's really important to show emotional images full length as well as close up. And it's kind of easy to forget to do that when you're so enthralled with the background. Then we went over to the stairs of where this golf course was and got a variety of images. And again, I like to show standing, sitting, just giving them as many options as possible so they can really see what they like. And also in the midst of having a gorgeous background and a stunning couple, it's often easy to forget to take images close up. And so I zoomed in on this couple and wanted to have a nice image that they could give their friends, they could give their parents, their grandparents, if they just wanted a literal image of them looking at the camera looking fabulous. The same thing from far away. And then I typically focus on the groom for a couple images. And what's really fun is while the bride's watching me photograph her handsome husband, I'm like, hey, bride, run over there and give him a hug. And that always gives me a really great series of images. And then, of course, the bride, photographing the bride is so important, giving, again, her just a large variety of serious, not serious, smiling, full length, half length. And then you'll see I took a couple more images later on. And I like to just show them sitting together. And then I took a couple shots of the bride sitting in a different location that I really liked. And then I added the groom once I decided that that series was working really well. I always do show the back of the dress. I think that's really important. So a shot like this can accomplish that. And this was a series of images that I found that I was really liking, so I photographed it both vertically as well as horizontally. And then I actually moved myself. I didn't move them, but I moved myself in front of them, and then I got a nice variety of images from the front and the back. So again, I'm not moving them in a lot of different places. This isn't a 2 or 3 hour day after session, because I think that that's a lot to ask of a bride and groom who just got married. This was probably a 45-minute to 1 hour photo session, where I just tried to be as creative as possible with the locations that were around us, where we actually ended up going. Again, taking just some standing images that show off the back of the dress and these beautiful flowers. And I think she even said, oh, I love those flowers. I thought, great, let's take some shots there. We took a shot with our driver because he was just so nice to us. And then at the very end, we went over to the water. They climbed up this cabana and got a couple shots at the very end. It was kind of an overcast day, so it wasn't very much of a dramatic beach exit, but it was having them walk away. It's just a nice series to end the photo session. So I hope this gives you an idea of how I treat day after sessions. There's something that I would very typically sell to a client who had timing issues on their wedding day. And not only was it a great add-on, but it's just a great additional opportunity to deliver the client with phenomenal images that they'll be thrilled with putting into their album. So thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time at Laura Novak Photo Education.